Welcome to Health, Wellbeing and Lifestyle, where professionals in the field inform, educate and inspire the community to be healthier, more balanced and live the lifestyle they love. Today we have Heather Bell-Murphy in the studio, a health, life and love coach, and we'll be talking about healing your trauma through self-love. Hello Heather.
Hi Kirsty, thank you for that lovely welcome.
So Heather, what is trauma?
Trauma is something that happens inside of us, not to us as such. And what tends to happen is that the part of our mind which relates to our programming can take on a belief that doesn't serve us. So for example, commonly I see clients and they may have taken on a belief when they were young that they weren't good enough, and therefore in my case I was traumatized as quite a young child being born. So we can take on a belief that we're not good enough and therefore we need to be brilliant or we need to be perfect in some way. And of course, we know that many people are struggling with this today in society. Where they're suffering, there's a lot of anxiousness and a lot of anxiety and even depression out there. Or that people may be seemingly very successful on the outside, but they struggle inside with feeling less than okay about themselves.
And how would you go about helping someone heal?
I would say that healing through self-love is not necessarily having your chakras cleansed or having your past lives read or buying a new crystal or maybe even seeing a counsellor. It's about when you have a goal, a positive goal in mind about an end result that you want your life or your love or your happiness or your health to look like, and we realize that. It's not necessarily, and this is what I find that can go for healing, it's not having a good experience and feeling good about it. Going and seeing the counsellor and perhaps having a nice unpack session, I'd call that more relief. There is a place for that. People unburdening themselves, definitely. But it's probably not going to change your story in here that another part of your mind is running. That's where we want to get into the programming and upscale the actual program and find that self-love.
Do you perhaps give me an example of how you change the programming?
I'm just going to take a little step back. We're all common. We all know, we've all heard about stories, from some of our great athletes that we have in Australia. They might be football players or Olympic athletes. And then of course that career comes to an end. And then we hear that they've been struggling sometimes with drugs or alcohol issues or, personal issues, relationship issues. And what I find interesting about some of our very, very successful people, and this is certainly something which I would see in the corporate world with some of the, especially corporate executives that I used to coach, they've set up their success, and this is particularly a testosterone-driven trait, and what they're doing is to escape a bad feeling. And therefore, they get the gold medal, or they win the Brownlow, or they become coach, or they get that job. And I used to see sometimes some incredibly successful men, making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year perhaps, especially in the finance, world. And really they were just the guy that took the bins out on a Tuesday night. Everybody was running their lives. They had the Labradoodles and the Labradoodles, and the kids were in private schools and having nice holidays. And they were feeling very empty and very disconnected, which is a very big shame. And so there was part of that, changing that programming, finding their joy, which means getting back to that self-love instead of what I would say, which is setting actually a negative goal, which is where, and men are actually better at doing this than women. It's more of a testosterone-led skill that they have, where they will set a goal, but it's actually negative and it's really to escape. It's a bit like Mark Zuckerberg setting up Facebook, being the world's greatest nerd. Nerdy, you couldn't get a nerdier nerd than Mark Zuckerberg. Same thing. And so this is a funny thing about what we end up creating, which may become a bit of a societal monster. That could be another philosophical chat for another time. But do you know what I mean? So this is a really interesting thing about where the goal has come from and what the true end result is, which is maybe not, you know, making the $100 million is going to make you really happy and make you really contented. So healing for me is when we set a great result and we move along that, and we probably need to do a bit of reprogramming here so that we trot along towards that really happy, positive result where hopefully it's going to make a lot of people happy and feel connected. Rather than just, hey, I've made another $10 million, aren't I really great? But inside, it's cost me. I think we're actually ready. This is a great topic for now, because we're probably realizing that this paradigm that we're in currently, that the world is in, isn't such a great one for the future of the planet.
Do you have any tips for any of our viewers?
I certainly do. A great place to start is perhaps to reconnect with things that gave you joy when you were a child. And it may be something as silly as sticking things down on paper, you know, or cooking, you know, or just, you know, exploring that hobby, that, you know, being a modeler or something. Find the joy that you had when you're a child and make sure that you're bringing that joy into your everyday existence, or at least weekly existence. If you've got some bumpy experiences that you know need to be resolved, look for a great mentor. Look for a great therapist, mentor or doctor. And I think this is also a really great time, because I'm now meeting a lot of GPs and they are realizing that there are other therapies available to people that of course complement making sure that they have a good mental health plan, but are complementary. And I always encourage clients that they always, you know, keep checking in with their doctors, or if they're seeing perhaps a psychologist, to keep checking in with them, to make sure that we're all working towards the same goal. It's not an exclusion thing. And third great tip, look for the joy in life. Definitely go out there. You've got my full permission. Everybody does. All my beautiful, brave clients to come and see me. Find your joy, whatever it is that means.
Thanks, Heather. They were great tips. And if you want more information on how to heal your trauma through self-love with the help of Heather Bell Murphy, you can find her webpage on our website, healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au. We're going to a break, but stay tuned for another fascinating guest and very interesting topic. Stay tuned. After the break, health coach and author Kaveri Sequeira is talking about what is the human diet.
Welcome back, and our next guest is Kaveri Sequeira, a certified health coach and author, and she's here with us today to talk about the human diet. So Kaveri, welcome.
Thank you, Linda. Really happy to be here.
So Kaveri, the human diet, we're all humans. So what do you mean by the human diet in this case?
So the human diet, Linda, is essentially the diet that Homo sapiens evolved to eat 250,000 years ago. So as elephants, every species on Earth have their own diet. So the elephants have their own specific diet that they eat, which is grass and a lot of leaves. The ants have their own diet. Different bird species have their own diet. So the human race, as we evolved, also had their own diet. Now the diet can be observed when we observe the last hunter-gatherer race in the world, who are the Hadza people in Africa, and they till today go and hunt and gather their own food. So when we observe them, we've seen what they eat, and it is essentially, hunting for meat, fish, a lot of fruits and vegetables, nuts and honey, and a lot of water, because essentially we need about 7 to 8 glasses of water a day to be hydrated. So that is essentially what the human diet consists of. And unfortunately, in today's modern world, we are not following the human diet, and that is why we have a lot of issues with disease and like type 2 diabetes and lifestyle associated disease, because we've kind of veered away from that human diet. So my quest is to let people know of how about it, so they're more aware of what it is, and then they can actually have overall a healthier lifestyle. Now, when I started following the human diet close to like 3 years ago, I was a completely different person prior to that. Like now, after I started following that healthier lifestyle, I released about 15 kilos because my body felt it was time to let go of all that excess weight, because my body felt healed and supported. I have so much more energy, so much more flexibility, so much more mental clarity to do the work and that I love and help people. And essentially it's something that I very, very much believe in.
So then you talked about how it benefited you. What other benefits come from eating a human diet?
Yes, so again, to look at the benefits, if we go back to observing the Hadza people, that particular community has no disease like lifestyle disease that we have today, like obesity and type 2 diabetes. That doesn't exist, because they're also like super fit, and because they have to run like 20 kilometers a day to catch their food, so they're doing their 10,000 steps easily. And the women gather stuff and the men hunt. Unfortunately, in this day and age, we're not doing that, and so it's clearly eating that natural diet is certainly helping them with that health and fitness. The food that we eat in the modern world today, on the other hand, has got like processed stuff, chemicals, a lot of additives, just not real food, and that's causing all the the problems that we are having in today's world. Plus, we're not moving enough. We're not hunting and gathering our own food, and yet we're eating 3 meals a day which is not sort of giving us the nourishment that we need. So so following the human diet will essentially help you get the benefits of better overall health. You have amazing energy levels, you have mental clarity to actually live the life that you deserve and dream about. You're not sitting at the doctors and popping medicines, because you're eating what you were evolved to eat as a Homo sapien. So those are some of the benefits. And also, like eating that way naturally from nature, what's available in nature, will help boost your immune system as well, which is a big thing that results in a better, healthier lifestyle. So those are the benefits, and I think it's really valuable.
So Kaveri, then from all that beautiful information, what is the top advice that our viewers could take away with them today?
Sure. So whilst we can't hunt and gather our own food like the Hadza people, there's certainly things that we can do to have a better human diet and a more natural diet to lead to a healthier lifestyle. Some things that you could do is source your food from an organic food store, so you know where your meat and your fruit and your vegetables are coming, because we deserve that. We deserve to have a better, healthy lifestyle. So it'll be great if we could start voting with our money and actually buy food that's actually good for us. The second thing you could do is, and a lot of people are doing that these days, is having an edible garden. Grow your own food, and you know exactly where your food's going to come from. You can eat more seasonally, so you can buy fruit and vegetables that are in season, and that's actually going to help you. It's going to be fresh. It's going to be great for you. And this is my big one. Like if you go and buy a package and it's got like 15 ingredients at the back, look at the ingredients is my first tip. And if you go and you find 15 ingredients at the back, I can tell you that is not going to be very good for you, because it's probably got a lot of processed stuff and chemicals and all that not cool stuff in it. and you want to be veering away from that if you want to have a better, healthier lifestyle.
Thank you, Kaveri. And for more information on Kaveri and the human diet, then please go to her webpage on our website healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au, and we'll go to break and be back afterwards with more amazing guests. Stay tuned. After the break, Yoga for Wellbeing instructor and author Pauline Rooney is talking about electronic devices for work, school and pleasure and yoga. Welcome back, and now we have Pauline Rooney back with us, our Yoga for Wellbeing instructor and author. And now we're talking about devices in work, computers, and in school and in the environment, really. Welcome back, Pauline.
Thanks, Linda. It's lovely to be back.
And today the topic is devices in our workplace or school, in our environment, really, mobile phones. So how much time do we spend on these devices?
Linda, I personally was shocked when I was doing the research. On average, we spend approximately 17 years of our life on smartphones and other devices. And I found that truly amazing. I have read other reports that state that that 17 hours is only on smartphones, and other devices are added on top of that. No matter which way you look at it, Linda, we're on our devices a lot.
And how can we incorporate yoga into this? How does yoga help us to look at this differently?
Well, the blessings of yoga is we can do yoga everywhere and anywhere, and it is for everyone and everybody. So if you're at work or even at school, the same things apply. We tend to sit very set and lean in, and there's the yoga poses of sitting back, lifting, doing a spinal twist. We can do all of those, run our legs up and down, cross the arms over like this, all of these things. If you are at work, you can still read your emails while you're doing these. So there's no downtime with the yoga in the office, in the gaming room, schoolroom, or when we're having fun on the computer for relaxation. So there's just so many things. I could be here all day telling you about them. But the major ones is sitting up, because most people slouch when they're on a device. So it's sitting up, keeping the shoulders back and down. But also, Linda, I don't think many people think about their eyes, right? So with the yoga, we have what we call palming. It's I think we do it naturally. I really do. But we rub our hands and get them lovely and warm. We close our eyes and gently cup our eyes over, and we breathe in the warm. It is truly amazing how that, I'm sure you've experienced it too, that tired, glassy feeling, it takes all that away. And it gives us a cleaner look at our screens. So we see things more clearly. We're not misinterpreting what is being on the screen. We can read more and for longer. If you take short breaks, you can stay on your device for longer periods of time. It's very important. The other thing that yoga puts a great deal of attention to is what we call Hasta yoga. And that's the yoga of hands. I don't think a lot of people have heard about it. It's absolutely amazing. So if you incorporate Hasta yoga into the work, play or school time, you'll be amazed for the carpal tunnel, for the arm strength, all fingers, flexibility, mobility, and it's as simple as bringing each finger in turn together and then going back. You do that on both hands. This one may look a little bit tricky, but it's extraordinarily good because it works through the carpal tunnels. We have to close down our tall man. Then we're going to, if you lock those down, it's a lot easier. You're going to face your left hand up and your right hand down, so your index and ring go together and your index and ring go together. Now we take the pressure off the tall man and just sit like that and work those fingers back. You will be amazed how much work that is up the wrists. And then we release them and turn them over. It's fantastic, absolutely. And then we always circle through our wrists, because even with the trackball, we're fairly sedentary. We're working 3 or 4 of the movements. Sliding, same thing. So we need to keep the mobility in our wrists. So just folded leaf, see your fingernails, circle around, back. They are fantastic. The other one I really do like, and I can read my emails, pointer and thumb, and then if you can, look, this is going to look different from every person. Step the fingers up and over, because it pulls the fingers back in an opposite direction. So it's a bit tricky looking, really. And then we can let those down and then give the fingers a little bit of a wiggle.
Fantastic, fantastic.
They're so simple and so easy. Another one that I like to do is sit and ripple my arms, just like that, because our hands are up here. We want the circulation going through. We want to drop the shoulders and give that weight. Even those, they're great. Just to ripple through, get the movement going. Fantastic. The other one that helps the cardiovasculars is running on the spot. And that is as simple as sitting straight and running up and down like that. Again, you can be reading something, you can be on the phone, you can be gaming, you can be waiting while the other students are having their say. So all of this, it doesn't matter what age, what circumstance, if you're on a device, you can be doing yoga. It's that simple.
And what about your best advice for as the last takeaway today for our viewers?
Oh, look, there's so many, Linda. I could go on and on. But honestly, if you're stretching up, so just raise the arms, you might get your arms up to here, or you can get them right up. That's okay. The other one I think is very important is the shoulder roll, because we're sitting over way too much. And when we sit over, we squash our tummy a little bit too much, so we need to sit up. And when you're rolling your shoulders, it's very difficult to roll from down here. So we need to sit up and give that lovely roll, but keep those arms in. I really think between that and the palming for the eyes would be my 2 extremely good tips.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And if you'd like to know more about Pauline Rooney and yoga for wellbeing, specifically in this case about devices, then please go to her webpage on our website, healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au, and we will say goodbye now till next week.
If you'd like to know more about our show, please like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel.